Hey guys, what's going on? It's Fraser, and today in this video we are dissecting the power clean. I've got my laptop in front of me, I've got my official Biella Rugby work shirt on, so we are not talking biceps and bro lifting today. We are going to do a masterclass on the clean. There you go guys, that is the phases of the power clean. I will see you in the next video and joking, I'm joking, come back. We just scratched the surface there. Now we need to get into the details. So this video is not for someone who's never done a power clean before and is just looking to learn really fast. This is more for people that want to refine their coach's eye, maybe trainers that are unfamiliar with the clean, or an athlete that really wants to enhance what they're doing in the power clean and the clean, okay? So, if you are new to the Olympic lifts and you really want to learn them very fast, I would go to Cal Strength's channel. I'll put a link in the description and just look at their video tutorials on the reverse chain method. I can maybe do a video on this once we are allowed back into the gym to train, but it's very, very simple to learn the clean. This is to learn the clean from a deeper perspective, from a coach's perspective, okay? So we're gonna break down the technical model step by step. We're gonna look at some real world examples after that and deviations from the technical model. So little errors in technique that professional rugby players have and will iron out with time and practice, right? But I wanted to give you some real world examples. Now the first example we're using is also a real world example because it's myself doing 130 kilogram power clean, and yes, if you looked at an Olympic weightlifter, they would have more aesthetic posture, I would suggest, and they'd also be using 3 times the weight that I'm using probably. But nonetheless, it gives you, again, a real world example, and it certainly does allow you to see the phases. And I'll talk about, after we've talked about the technical model, I'll talk about the errors in my technique so that you can kind of paint a full picture of what's going on. So that is the plan for this video, guys. Stay till the end because I'm going to share with you some of the fixes that we do with common errors that I see, particularly in rugby players learning the lift. And in fact, just most people learning the lift, there's certain things that you tend to see, certain patterns, whether it's breaking at the arms too early or the hips shooting up too fast. This will all make sense once you see the technical model, okay? So let's just get into it, guys. Okay guys, let's go to the start, and we've got Franco and myself as an example for the start position, the get set position, before there's any movement in the bar. What should your body look like? Okay, now it's worth saying that this is for the masses, this is for the 80%, this is the technical model, but of course there are outliers, all right? There will be people, based on different anthropometries, there will be people that need to go wider on their stance, for example, or play around with different things, but this is the technical model for the clean or the power clean. We'll get into that in the catch position and the different heights. Okay, let's stick with the start position. So Franco is nice and close to the bar. When he looks down, his laces are covered by the bar. He's maybe 2 inches from the bar, and when he goes down, his shins are pretty much almost touching because there is a little bit of a lean. So he wants his feet in hip width position, okay? It's typically your most optimal position for when you're doing counter movement jumps. You want to have your hips higher than your knees with your chest proud, and you're probably, again, it'll depend on the person, but probably going to be at an angle of about 45 degrees with the chest. Now, you want your feet to be flat on the ground with the weight neither too far back on the heels or too far forward. You just want the weight distribution of your body just on the mid part of your foot when you're getting set, so you're nice and balanced, okay? Arms, just like Franco's doing here, should be nice and long, but relaxed, okay? And essential, we need to have a hook grip, cozy, like this, okay? Hook grip is really, really important for 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is it allows you to have a super strong grip without wasting energy in the arms. So you don't need to hold really hard in your arms when you've got this hooked in, okay? The second reason is, and we want the arms to be relaxed, we'll get into that later. The second reason for using a hook grip is when you make good contact with the bar, and I've seen it before, and you might have had this experience as well. When you make contact with the bar can, if you're like this, traditional grip, the bar can just come out the hands, okay? Whereas if you're here, it's pretty much locked in so that when you hit the bar, it's not going to go anywhere other than up. It's not going to go away from you. So hook grip is really important. We've already talked about the torso, but the shoulder blade should be set and not overly contracted, but just set and strong in a good neutral position. Back should be flat, of course, and without excessive curvature in the lumbar spine, but certainly with thoracic extension. So if you look at my side view, you'll notice that my back's flat, but it looks like I could get more thoracic extension. And again, that comes down to knowing your athlete, knowing the person. You might not believe this, but that is me in thoracic extension, or as much as I can get into. That's just how my body is. Okay, head position, guys. You want your head up and eyes forward and up. All right, so Franco does a good job of this, looking at his whole start position is good, but you can see that his head is up and his eyes are forward and gazing upwards. So that's important because it does help contribute to proprioception and bar path as we go up the chain. All right, let's look at the first pull. In the first pull, you're taking the barbell from the floor to clear your knees. So you're taking it to the top of the patella, where the quadriceps insert into the kneecap. That is where you're taking the barbell to on a first pull. Let's talk ground up really quickly. So look at the feet, and if you look at my photo here, you'll see that there's actually a gap between, a very small gap between my heel and the floor. This is not ideal. This is not what we want. Actually, we want the weight on our foot to be distributed towards the back, towards the heel, because the barbell path is actually going to come up and back. We're going to be keeping the barbell nice and close to our center of mass, okay? So the legs extend and they're going to remain partially flexed once you take it up to the end of the first pull. The main thing is the barbell's clearing the knee and you're not fully extended at the knees. Just go and have a look and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, let's look at the arms. They're still long and relaxed, okay? The torso angle hasn't changed. It should pretty much be the same as what you started with of course, you've maintained integrity in your back. You know, you've stayed strong through the lower back, through the chest, through the thoracic region, with the head remaining in the same position. Okay, so up with eyes forward and up. That is the first pull. The transition phase is all about going from a pulling posture up into a jumping posture. And what happens is there's a rebend of the knee, which then affects what your torso is doing. Let's go from head to toe again, run through the checklist. So what should be happening at the foot is good contact with the whole foot with the ground, okay? But you'll see in the photo that actually my heel has come up prematurely, all right? This is a flaw. This is an error on my part for sure. You want ideally you want the weight to be coming back towards the mid part of the foot as you transition, okay? In terms of what the arms are doing, they're still out of action at the moment. They're just doing the job holding on to the bar, all right? And the head position is just, it's the exact same, but it's just realigned with the torso. So as your torso changes, it affects what's happening with your head. Now, if we watch Franco go through this, you'll see that again, his transition isn't perfect, just like mine, but he caves a little bit in at the knees as he's coming into this jump position, all right? And we're stopping the transition phase, ideally with, again, our feet flat on the ground, but the weight in the sort of heading towards the mid part of the foot now, torso nice and upright, and basically we're in a really good position to jump. That is allowing us to transition into what's called the second pull, where we can really hit triple extension. All right, the second pull. Now you've transitioned, you've brought your hips forward to meet the barbell. You are in a primed, powerful position, ready to jump. Okay, you're just about to start the second pull. Now let's start feet and work our way up. So our foot position hasn't changed, all right? We're still in that hip width, jump stance position with our feet, okay? We've still got full contact with the ground because We're just about to start, we just transitioned to the second pull and we're about to do the jump. And the weight is on the mid part of our foot. That is where we're going to produce the most force. So that's where we need to be, that's where we should be. Now, you're going to hit that, the holy grail of what you've always hear strength and conditioning coaches talk about, triple extension. So you're going to extend at the knee, ankle and hip. And you're also going to do a violent shrug of the shoulders to pull that bar up. You're going to make contact with the barbell with your hip. That's going to happen, okay? You want that to happen, which is going to project the barbell slightly outwards. So the bar has come up and back in the first pull. Then we've transitioned really well and the bar's just come straight up. Now we've hit it with the hips and the barbell is going to go slightly that way. Now the better our technique, the less it's going to swing and project away from you, because we don't want the bar going horizontally, right? We want it going vertically. But when we make a good hit, it will go slightly out. Now, you've done the violent shrug with your shoulders and it's time to break at the arms, which we're going to put into the next phase, okay? So this in the second pull, you will see at the end of the second pull, your shoulders will actually go from being over the bar in the transition phase. Because you've brought your hips through and you're hitting that triple extension, you're going to have the shoulders behind the bar as you shrug up, okay? So the barbell's going to be in front of the shoulders. That is okay. Your feet might be off the ground. It will depend on the load that you're using, but essentially it's a jump, so you're going to be right on your tiptoes and there'll be hardly any pressure on your feet, and you're going to slide your feet out, but that's in the next phase. So let's talk about the catch, or I've put the catch plus because it could be, depending on what textbook you're reading, we could discuss the third pull and then the catch, but we'll go with the UKSCA type model where I believe they put the third pull in with the catch. So it's just a terminology thing. So we're going to refer to the third pull and the catch as the catch plus in this video, because the third pull comes before the catch. So the catch, you've done all the hard work, and now instead of bringing the barbell upward because you've already done all the hard work to do that, you're actually going to pull yourself under the barbell. So you are going to break at the arms now, and your arms are breaking, so that allows you to pull yourself under the bar and receive the bar. While this is happening, your feet are actually going to be jumping out into a squat stance. We need to widen your base of support so that you've got stability when you catch that barbell and kill the momentum, right? The bar is going to rest on your shoulders, not like this, but like this, okay, as you'll see Franco and myself demonstrating, and typically you'll have your triceps parallel to the ground. Now some people will get away with elbows down a little bit because their frame can support the barbell. The main thing is the bar is resting on your shoulders and you've got elbows up and you're in just this great front squat posture. So the catch, your feet have jumped out, you've pulled yourself under the bar, not pulling the barbell upward. Although that will happen sometimes, look, it happens, okay, but let's stick with the technical model. You technically be pulling under to receive the bar, and you've landed in a really good front squat position. The recovery, I won't complicate the recovery too much. All it is a really good front squat, okay? So you're probably very familiar with that, but the coaching point would be, once you've caught the barbell and you've done the catch, the weight is going to be towards the heel of the foot, because you're in this stable front squat posture, right? So you've caught the bar, that's what you've just done. Now as you ascend up, the weight on your foot is going to go back to the mid part of your foot as you come up to a normal standing posture. Of course, like any squat, you want your knees to track in line with your toes. So if your toes are pointing that way, your knees should be pointing that way. But hopefully, you know, you're at the old 11 and 1 or 10 and 2 or whatever best squat posture suits your body type. It might just be tutto dritto. So that's the main thing with the recovery, is executing a really good front squat. And once you've come up and everything's safe, then you could then readjust your feet from squat stance to jump stance and then get rid of the barbell. Alright guys, well done for making it to this part of the video. Before we look at common mistakes that rugby players make and how to fix them, I want to hear from you in the comment section right now. What phase of the clean do you tend to break down on? Because everyone has an area, a phase that they can tidy up on. So now that you've got the technical model, let me know what you think the area is that you need to improve on. Now, let's go into 2 examples of really common mistakes that rugby players make when it comes to the power clean or the clean, and the drills, the simple drills we can do to help fix that. Alright, one common mistake with rugby players, and we'll see with Franco setting up for his hang cleans here, is that they overuse their biceps and their arms sometimes, and I'm guilty of this myself. It's almost like a power reverse curl, like this. Okay, the reason we don't want to do that is because we won't be using the full potential of our whole body, right? Alright, so we want the bar to stay nice and close, as we talked about. We don't want the bar projecting away from us, and by having our elbows behind here and the arm come up like this, it makes life a little bit more challenging for us on the catch, and it takes away from our energy. So one drill that I really like to do is make sure that the elbows are in line with the barbell with the chest out. Alright, that should be at the start position and just throughout, anytime you're getting set on the hang clean. That will allow the bar to track like this, nice and close to your body, as opposed to here, doing like a reverse curl. So let's look at Sam executing that in his warm-up just now.
Okay, let's go. Stop. Elbows in line with the bar, even more. Rotate it. Yes, now get your chest out. Okay, now start the movement. There you go. Yeah, okay, give me 5 like that. Every time, make sure those elbows are in line, chest is out. Yep. Excellent. That bar path is so much better. Yes, nice and close. Good, last one.
Alright, for the second really common mistake that you're going to see rugby players make when it comes to the power clean or even just guys and girls learning the clean, okay? This is super common. We're going to actually look at Franco doing 120 kilogram power clean. It was his maximum at the time, okay? And I want you guys to pick out what area do you think needs addressed. So let's have a look at this really quickly. There's Franco hitting a power clean, 120 kilos, first time ever. Not bad, young man, not bad. Okay, now let's look again in slow motion and see if you can pick out what area do you think he needs to address. Now there are a few things going on here, granted. Okay, he's been practicing this move in part of his program for about a year now. So again, a rugby player, not a weightlifter, but you know, it's not bad effort at all. So, guys, did you see what I saw? Yes, there are a few things going on, so if you're troubleshooting a few things, great. Think about the technical model. Where are you going to get biggest bang for your buck? For me, in Franco's power clean, and this is what we did, it worked. If you look at his first pull, all right, now where is the barbell when his legs are extended? Okay, so he's finished the first pull, but he hasn't. His legs are extended, but the bar is underneath. It's underneath his kneecap. He's not brought the bar, he's not cleared his knees, yet his legs have extended. Okay, his torso hasn't maintained perfectly. It has tipped a little bit because his hips have shot up, which is going to affect him up the chain. He's going to have to compensate for that by using his back, and his bar path is going to be less than optimal then, because it's going to be a little more loopy than we would like. So if you look at his first pull, okay, yes, his back stays strong and straight, but the torso angle changes, and he's finished his first pull, he's extended his legs without getting the bar past his knees. So you'll see then that he has to use a bit of oomph in his back to get it past his knees before he goes into this transition phase. So what we need to do is practice that really good posture in the first pull of staying here at the start position and then extending the legs, and as he extends the legs, that bar has to clear his knees. We need to nail the first pull with this athlete, and that's what we did. So if we look at him doing 100 kilos, and this was in season, doing 100 kilo for 4 sets of 2, you'll notice that his first pull was much better. And we didn't go to max out in the power clean later in the season because lockdown happened and so on and so forth. But every time this athlete was warming up, that's what we would practice with Sam. As you saw, his warm-up would be the general warm-up, okay, before he grabbed the barbell and put weight on it, he had to do the elbows in line, chest out. Franco had to grab the barbell and practice the first pull, the get set position and the first pull. And he would just do 10 reps of just stopping at the first pull. It's very boring, he didn't like it, but he saw the progress that came with that. He saw the improvements, and so, you know, he did it. So that's the second really common mistake. The third really common mistake, or small error when it comes to the power clean or clean that you'll see people making, is the footwork. Okay, so when you're in that phase of the third pull and the catch, you'll often see people hit the extension, okay, but not jumping their feet out like we talked about, not going from jump stance to squat stance. This is what should be happening with the feet, all right? That allows you to drop and pull yourself under the bar, get nice and low, and hit this position really quickly, as opposed to, you know, you'll see some people catching here and then rolling their elbows up. It's because their footwork's not fast enough. Now, you don't want to be having your feet way past squat stance, all right? That's another error, but we're just talking about getting the feet from the jump stance to the squat stance, so heels in line with the shoulders, more or less, più o meno. We can see Sam doing this drill here because we had to correct what he was doing with his footwork as well at a certain point. And you know, when it comes to correcting technique, different coaches have different approaches. There's many drills to influence technique, okay? You tend to focus on one, maybe two things at a time. So if you're seeing something break down in technique and it's safe, but it's not optimal, then you'll go, okay, let's have this athlete work on one thing during this session and during this, or whatever, this block of time, and that's gonna be the elbows in line with the bar. Or, and you need to know your athlete, you might go, do you know what, this guy's gonna be able to handle and practice 2 or 3 things at a time without overthinking it and get better. So this was an instance we're looking at now where Sam had 2 little mats that he had to jump on, and that was just to remind him it was a constraint that he had to jump up and get his feet out to that position. He had to land with his feet on the mat, so we worked on his footwork there. So very, very common mistake, very easy fix. Again, the fixes are kind of down to the coach. The main thing is that you can see what's going on, and then you can get creative as a coach and decide what drill is most appropriate for your athlete, for that person. And there's no one drill is the best drill. It really is down to, I see a deviation from the technical model, and I'm going to implement this drill to align my athlete back to the technical model. Okay guys, that is everything I wanted to say for today. It's been a long and technical video. I thank you very much for watching all the way, and I really do think this will stand you in good stead when it comes to understanding the clean and power clean. As ever, let me know what you think in the comment section below and what area of the clean that you are now going to go away and work on. I would really encourage you to film yourself and then look at yourself lifting stage by stage. If you found this video useful, please do hit the subscribe and thumbs up button. It is very much appreciated, and I will see you on the next video, which I promise will be a little bit shorter, and yeah, we'll just go from there. Cheers.